Hello, and welcome to POV, the Portland Ovations podcast. I am Katelyn Manfre, Ovations Director of Community Programs and Partnerships. I'm recording today's episode on the occupied and unceded territory of the Wabanaki Confederacy. We extend our respect and gratitude to the many Indigenous people and their ancestors whose rich history and vibrant communities have stewarded this land for over 3,000 generations. And we're gearing up to kick off our 2022-23 season. Today, I'm joined by Heena Patel, creative producer of Garba360, an exciting and free community event we'll be hosting here in Portland on Saturday, September 17th. Welcome, Heena.
Hi, Katie. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. So can you tell us a little bit, like in your own words, what is Garba?
Absolutely. Before I get there, I should just tell you my pronouns are she, her, and I'm joining you today from the lands of the Cherokee East and the Uchi people, also known as Asheville, North Carolina. And I also just want to pay my respects, not just to the traditional holders of this land, but also recognizing the histories of these lands and all the people that have come here, including the ancestry and the history that I bring here as an immigrant and as a child of immigrants. And that actually ties beautifully into what Garba is.
Great. Thank you.
Because I am a Gujarati. So I come from my family comes from the northwestern state of Gujarat in India. And Garba is a folk dance, a form of music, as well as the event at which Garba takes place that comes from Gujarat. It is a joyous celebration. It is a dance that is done as a form of worship and devotion, traditionally performed during the 9-day Hindu festival of Navratri that takes place in the fall, and is also a dance that we do whenever we want to celebrate. So it's part of wedding celebrations and baby showers and everything else.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about the origin of Garba360 as an event, as a show that you tour? How did it come to be?
Yeah, so I am a creative producer and connector and amplifier of South Asian arts and culture. I grew up doing Garba basically since I could walk, right? And the reality actually is that my mom did Garba when she was pregnant with me, because Garba is such a ubiquitous part of Gujarati culture and Gujarati life. And so a lot of my work is really about sharing South Asian arts and culture. And a lot of people, oftentimes when you think about, even get more specific, forget South Asia, let's talk about Indian arts and culture. When you think about Indian dance, you probably know Bollywood, right? You may know Bhangra, and maybe you know a classical dance form or two like Bharatanatyam or Kathak, right? Okay. But India, like any other country or culture, is not monolithic. They're like, in terms of language, in terms of food, in terms of artistic practices, they are so specific to the region that you come from in the country. So for me as a Gujarati, Garba actually was my first my first cultural practice, my first artistic experience. And so when I think about the things that I want to create myself, aside from the work that I do in amplifying other artists' work, why wouldn't I start with what I know? And Garba is such a big part of my identity and something that I love and adore. So it came from a space of wanting to share this practice with other people. And so reimagining the Garba experience that I had growing up, doing this dance in community, in temple spaces and high school gymnasiums, with everyone from a few hundred people to thousands of people, and wanting to share that with the larger community, because a lot of people don't even know what Garba is, but it's literally a dance form that is practiced by legit millions of people around the world, especially during that 9-day festival.
Amazing. So that's I guess why you bring it into make it into a community event more than like a traditional dance demonstration like we would see, is like kind of a more, I'm in the audience, I just get to watch, right? The artist.
Garba is a social dance. It's a participatory dance. It's done in community, right? So yes, you can watch it. Like, look, I grew up doing Garba, not just in community during the Navratri festival and at these events like weddings and stuff like that. I grew up doing it for competition. So there is a stage version of it, right? That's more choreographed. And we literally would compete. Hundreds upon hundreds of kids would be part of these community competitions, right? So we do that version, but they're at its heart, right? It's a folk dance. A folk dance is by the people, for the people, right?
Yeah.
Generally, folk dances are dance practices that don't need a lot of training, right, to do the basic forms of it. So it is meant to be something that everyone participates in. So yes, absolutely. Garba360 is not, look, people can watch, like you're welcome to observe, right, but we really want you to come join the circle, because Garba is this dance that's done in concentric circles, and you'll see everyone from little kids trying to keep up to silver-haired people dancing in these concentric circles. So it's about joining the circle.
That's great. So this leads me to, what will the event itself in Portland look like for folks who attend?
So Garba360 is a reimagining of what we do in community within the diaspora, right? So I grew up in Toronto. I grew up doing Garba within the Gujarati diaspora in Toronto. And my experience is very similar to that of thousands upon thousands of Gujaratis across North America and even across the world, right? Where we gather in community to do this dance. We've reimagined what we would do in community by adding a level of accessibility and invitation to people who may be unfamiliar through dance instructors. So we have a live band, which is amazing, because when you have a live band, they feed off of the energy and can adjust speed, and it's fantastic. And then we have dance instructors, right? A Garba night has basically 4 segments. Traditionally, we have a 2-clap Garba called the Betali, a 3-clap Garba called Trantali, something called Ras, which is done with these sticks called dandias. It's a partner dance, but we're still doing it in circles and in larger community. And then what I like to call the potpourri at the end, which is a mix of styles, including a Gujarati version of the Macarena and our own version of a Congo line and stuff like that, right?
Great. Yeah.
So what we do at a Garba360 event is we do these different segments, but before each one, there's these mini dance lessons where you learn the steps, right? So that's the way it's like, come in and participate, because oftentimes you'll go to a Garba event within the community and you see all these people dancing and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And maybe you have a friend who will teach you. Otherwise, you're kind of like fumbling along. And we're like, no, everyone come learn first so you really can participate in this.
That's great. So I know I want to share with our audience that the event that we're doing is going to take place in kind of 2 cycles, right? So we'll have 2, the whole event lasts from 4 to 7 p.m., but we've got 2 kind of times you can come and you'll be able to learn the dance, learn a little bit more about Garba from the instructors and from Heena, and then participate, right? And we'll kind of go into 2 segments. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that was clear for folks. So Heena, you said that Garba is an event, it's a dance, and it's also the music. Can you talk a little bit more about the musical aspect of this?
Absolutely. So what's really fun about Garba music is that each segment is a nonstop section that can go from 20 to 40 minutes long. So it starts at a really slow tempo and gradually increases over that time period, right? The lyrics for Garba, so it's very rhythm heavy, but then we have all these songs that go basically one into another into the next song, right? And the themes around the song are very varied. So you have songs that are about Krishna, who is a god that in mythology, we know a lot about him doing Ras and Garba, right? Then you have this dance that's done during the festival of Navratri, which is dedicated to the goddess, right? So you have a lot of songs that are about the goddess, that are about describing her or telling her, please come dance with us, right? And then you just have fun songs like, hey, I'm going to the fair, will you come with me? And she's like, I don't want to come with you to the fair, right? Right? Or a song, literally one of the songs is about your cheeks are like laddus. Your hair is like it describes a girl and compares her to different foods, right? So you have these random songs as well. So you have all these different types of songs and lyrics, right? within this that play during, that are sung during this, 20 to 40-minute track. So I will also say that if you aren't sure about whether you want to dance or not, come listen. The music is really fun and enjoyable, and it's probably going to be something that you haven't quite heard before. So bring a lawn chair, right? Like bring a lawn chair so you can join the circle when you want, you can leave the circle when you want, and you can also just sit and listen and watch, and just be a part of the energy of the space. So it very much is also a concert, right? It's not just a dance event, it's a concert as well. And one of the things that's very cool that we have is the band that we have for our event in Portland is a band that's fronted by a husband-wife duo, Kashyap Chani and Jigna Trivedi, and their daughter is also part of the band. She's one of the backup singers or the chorus singers. Great. So it's really sweet in that way. So I hope that even if you don't have an inclination to dance, though I feel like you're gonna want to because it's just so much fun. But if you don't have an inclination to dance, I'd still encourage you to come because there's gonna be wonderful music and dancing to watch.
That's great. And can you talk a little bit more? We're gonna have some dandiya sticks on site for folks to use, to decorate. Can you talk a little bit more about what that might look like?
Yeah, so dandiyas are the sticks that we use during Ras, right? Which is a partner stick dance, right? And you can buy these beautiful sticks. They're wooden sticks that are decorated in different ways. They can be decorated with ribbons, or they can just have paint on them, or they can just be straight up just wooden dowels, right? We are having a dandiya making station. So there'll be these sticks there when we're gonna have stickers and ribbons, and you can really decorate your own sticks and make them your own. While we're not actually doing like a full segment of Ras together, you can definitely incorporate using the sticks, and we'll be around to show you how to do that. But it's a fun activity to do that you get to take a little bit of the experience home with you in like a tangible material form, besides the joy that you're going to feel in all these new steps that you have in your dance repertoire.
That's great. Okay, wonderful. So I want to come, right? Is there anything that I need to wear? Is there anything I should know in advance? I know you've made it very clear you do not have to have dance experience. This is an all ages, all bodies kind of event. But what should I wear? Do I need any special shoes?
No special shoes. Whatever's comfortable. Look, we do the dance barefoot, so I will be barefoot, right? You don't need to be barefoot. I just don't know how to do Garba with shoes.
Right.
Right? I just don't. So wear comfortable shoes, or you're welcome to be bare feet. We are in a park. We're going to be on grass. So if you want to get some grounding in while you dance, you're welcome to join us bare feet. Garba as a dance form has lots of claps and twirls. So I love wearing things that are flowy. And traditionally the outfits traditional outfits for male identifying people and female identifying people always have these flares, right? So traditionally the women would wear skirts with a top and like a dupatta or shawl on it, while the men have these like jacket things that also have this flared skirt on it. So flowiness is always fun because when you spin around, it gives you a little like extra oomph to it. Wear something comfortable. Like I said, it is sort of a workout. So you want to be able to move, and also bring a water bottle. Definitely want to have water.
Yes. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Anything else that you want folks to know about this event?
What's pretty awesome about the timing of the event that we're doing at Portland Ovations is that we are having the event right before the fall festival of Navratri. So Navratri actually starts a few days later. So if you then want to participate in one of the community Garba events, you're going to know everything you need to know to be able to go to one of the community Garba events. So it's kind of sweet that we get to do this event right before, not only to kick off Portland Ovations' entire season, but it actually really kicks off festival season. Navratri is followed by, a few weeks later, is followed by Diwali. So in the Hindu calendar, right, we really are moving into what is festival season, and we get to kick that off together with this event.
That's great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us today. Heena, telling us, sharing all of this fun. Your enthusiasm is so contagious, and I'm just really excited to be in the space with you, learning and just experiencing a Garba for the first time in my life.
And I will say one more thing. It's a treat to have a live band. Even within the diaspora, we often don't get live bands. We have nonstop recorded tracks, which are fun and great. Like I've danced to them all the time, but I love the fact that we get to have a band. And one of the things I love about the band that we have, it's led by one of the only bands in the Northeast. So that's fantastic. But Garba360, his wife Chigna, it's fronted by a husband-wife duo, and also their daughter sings in the band, which I think is amazing. And it's just a lovely way to showcase how for people to also just really see how this is so part of Gujarati life, right? And we get to really see this intergenerational component also within our artists, right? That in the band and stuff like that. So it's going to just be a fun times. I mean, outdoor social dancing with people of different backgrounds and ages. It's just going to be lots of fun. I am so excited.
That's great. We're so excited to be bringing you and the whole Garba360 family, quite literally, next month. Can't wait. As a reminder, Garba360 will take place in Deering Oaks Park here in Portland on Saturday, September 17th. The event runs from 4 to 7 p.m. with 2 different cycles of Garba instruction beginning at 4 and 5:30. All ages, bodies, and abilities are welcome. This event is free to attend and no reservations are required. More information is available on our website at portlandovations.org. We hope to see you there. We want to thank our friends at Coffee by Design for their generous sponsorship, as well as the New England Foundation for the Arts for their support of this program. And thank you for listening to POV, the Portland Ovations podcast. Stay tuned as we have more podcast stories coming out this season to deepen your relationship with our artists and the performing arts.